You know what's crazy to me? What's crazy to me is that social media has, for a lot of people, become a replacement for reality. And what I mean by that is instead of real world experiences that we get through hard work and dedication and specifically striving to get that thing, social media has instead given us replacements for it that feel the same but are in fact simulated, fake, and manufactured. Now, a couple of examples of this are instead of having sex, we're watching porn. Instead of going on vacations, we're watching travel videos. Instead of going out and doing the things we always wanted to do, we basically watch other people do it. I think that happens all the time when a lot of my friends who I see are not as ambitious anymore, they send me, a lot of Instagram reels that are basically emulations, simulations of what they want their reality to be. For example, you can see videos of people breaking into abandoned buildings and exploring abandoned buildings. Okay, no, that's more of a tame example because of course, it's better to watch videos of people going to abandoned buildings than actually living it. But another good one. Instead of going up to people and talking to them IRL, you watch videos of social media influencers going out and talking to other people. Like, for example, instead of going out to girls and asking for their numbers, you watch TikToks and Instagram reels of guys flirting with girls through their Ray-Ban Meta glasses or something. I know you guys have seen those videos. And essentially, I think a lot of what we want our life to be like, we're not striving to go for that, to try and live like that anymore. Instead, we are just watching it. We are emulating it through our phones. And I think that's bad. I think that's why, when you talk to a lot of older people, they have usually much crazier stories of what their life was because they had no real replication available that would replace basically that entire experience. You have to go up to a girl and get their number. You can't watch other people do it. You have to have sex. You can't just like fucking, of course you can jack off without watching porn, but besides the point, there's so many things in the world now that we used to want so badly. We used to want to strive for so much, but now we don't need to because we can emulate it. I'm going in circles right now. I think that's mostly what I've been wanting to talk about. Maybe there's a couple of other examples that I can muster up, but yeah, I think that's mostly it. Of course, to a lesser extent, there's games which replace what our ideas of which replace what we want to experience in real life. But that's mostly fine because there's a lot of things that in games that you can't do in real life. But what I'm saying as a whole is that there's a lot of things that we want to live like. We want to live like the streamers that we're watching, going out on vacations, flying out to multiple cities, meeting with as many people as possible, introducing yourself to girls, getting, okay, I'm saying, quite a lot. That's really bad. I need to start being more confident in my ability to speak in what I'm saying, and I need to stop saying, like going out, approaching girls, asking for their numbers, going to the club, and meeting new people, going to the rave, whatever. And instead, we're watching other people do it, whether from streams. You don't even have to watch streamers for that to occur. You can watch TikTok and IG Reels, which are basically clips of streamers. And I know a lot of people do that, like CJ. But yeah, basically, it's kind of killing our motivation. In a way, it's like drugs. Drugs are when someone that is zombified on drugs, that is someone who's on cocaine, who's on weed, who's on, you probably don't know anyone on drugs, but you've seen representations of what people on drugs are like from the movies, from social media, and people on drugs, they're hooked on drugs because these drugs create a mental simulation in their brain of a better perceived reality. Like there's a lot of homeless people that instead of trying to get out of their predicament, instead of trying to get out of the bad situation that they're in, being homeless, instead they shoot up drugs because these drugs make them feel better than if they were to go out and stop being homeless. Of course, it's also easier. Okay, maybe not better, but it's easier. It's easier to achieve basically a similar desired level of dopamine or happiness because they are replacing their reality with something that's not real. It's quite sad, to be honest, but that's how it is. And I think that's why social media is sort of a drug, because it's replacing what's real with what's not. It's a fake mental simulation in your brain. Your brain feels good watching these because it thinks you're experiencing this. Your brain thinks you're experiencing these good things that are happening to you, but these things are not happening. They're fake, they're manufactured. They are simulations. And we can see the effect of this correlating or, being similar to the effects of being on weed. If weed causes depression, weed causes lack of motivation, weed causes you to be content with basically a shitty situation like most drugs. If your life fucking sucks, if you have no friends, if you have no job, and you have no girlfriend, no boyfriend, you smoke weed and things, you just become happier. That's what weed does, like, right? It makes you calmer, it makes you happier, and it makes you less motivated to go out and achieve things in life because you have it, you're fine, because you feel fine just experiencing these fake emotions. And I think that's why, as a whole, scrolling on IG Reels and TikTok and basically living your life through other people's lenses is really bad for you. You stop thinking for yourself. You stop experiencing for yourself. You just become absorbed in something that's not real. And that's why so many people are fucking NPCs. They think the same. They talk the same. And a lot of that has got to do with living other people's lives and not having anything for yourself. I feel like there's a lot more to talk about, but I don't really have it in mind right now. So I think that was pretty good.